be nice if you played the sound of the old Piston with the new Piston so we could have a better comparison. Okay. If you listen to the new one and think about just the right thing, it might sound like a light switch, or like Starblaze 1986 says, why do the new Pistons sound wet? Who thought that was a good sound? And ultimately, this is the reason a senior Minecraft developer, Nembon, decided to say that based on the feedback, we are adjusting the crafting recipe of the Piston to match the sounds, and then showing that now you'll be able to craft it using a fish to perfectly match those wet, fishy sounds that we got before, which is probably the most charitable interpretation. Let's be honest, it could be described as much worse than a fish sound, but I think making fun of it is a great step in admitting that there is at least something wrong. Some people are expecting them to fully revert back to the previous one, but their issue of the sound previously being too loud is still there, so what I'd instead expect is some adjustments to this one. All it would take is a tiny bit of pitch or speed or attenuation, and you'd have a much better sound, and it's good to hear that they are wanting to work on that. Speaking of wanting to work on things, a lot of people have suggested that Minecraft's 15-year anniversary is not just going to have some fun nostalgia and some capes and everything else that we've seen, but also maybe they should add some new features to the game. One of the most popular suggestions was this one, weirdly, from Rebel Youth 13, saying imagine if they got Bedrock shaders for their birthday, and as fun as it would be if we finally got to live the dream of the super duper graphics pack in reality, I think what is much more likely is a minor feature coming as part of this, because here is the Minecraft 15-year birthday party announcement. As you can see, there's lots of stuff happening until this moment in the video where there is a pot that shows for just a couple of frames, but this pot has a weird dashed line and an X on it, which is a pot which does not exist in the game right now. It looks as though Minecraft have revealed that at some point during the celebration, or at some point during the map, there is going to be a brand new pot, and that is really cool because this pot would be one of the best. In fact, when they break it, you can see a map pops out. This would be a really great idea for trial chambers to give you a way to find other trial chambers from inside of them, or even just other structures. Imagine if you could find an ocean monument structure map while inside a trial chamber. Imagine if you just had one of these pots by itself. You could use this to tell players this is where the map is if you want to use it, or you could not. I think the ability to do atmospheric storytelling with this is really, really great, and I don't know if this is an accident from the team who made the video. In previous cases this has been, but it's something I really want to believe is definitely coming. Speaking of something I really want to believe, Joey69 is very happy that Minecraft is finally giving us capes again, and honestly I really agree. I think I've changed my opinion on this one since they first came out. When they first said that there's going to be 3 brand new capes, it seemed like a massive devaluation of the very concept itself. Minecraft has had capes before now, but they've been very rare. You're talking about maybe 10,000 people who have access to the Minecon capes from 2012 to 2016, and now we have genuinely millions of people on my stream alone yesterday. 250,000 people plus, that's all I know about, 250,000 people got TikTok capes, and that means that there are going to be millions more across the rest of the next few weeks, and this is crazy to increase the supply by literally hundreds, right? To go up from 10,000 to 10 million is giving out 1,000 times more capes, but I think that the way it's going to be, and the way that it's probably better being, is if capes are fairly accessible, if there's one every year or so, but obviously the older ones are less accessible as time goes on, and maybe if now we've got a decent supply of capes that anyone can get, they can actually add some capes that represent some achievement in the game. This is something RuneScape does really well with its 99 skill capes, but the idea of representing some in-game achievement would be great, and I think that the only key thing about capes that Mojang should keep dear, and the only thing that would actually represent a devaluation, is if they ever actually sold them. This is a big no-no in my opinion. I think that you can argue they basically sold the Minecon capes, but it was part of a bigger event. I think that any capes being given out should be given out for time at the very worst, or at the very best, it should be something more about effort than it should ever be about, yeah, you spent some money at just the right time. This is one of the beautiful things that Minecraft has going for it, and I hope that they manage to keep it. I'm glad that after all this time and all these subtle hints and all of the ridiculous things you can pay for in Minecraft Bedrock, you still can't pay for that. Speaking of not paying for that, why is it that there are 3 brand new capes? You know, there's an anniversary cape, and there's a Twitch cape, and a TikTok cape, but there's not a YouTube cape. If there's, you know, for an anniversary celebration, if there's going to be a celebration of the social media that made Minecraft, there's no argument that it's TikTok, because that came out in, what, 3-4 years ago? That didn't make Minecraft any more successful. What about Twitch? Twitch is one of the least popular games streaming services for Minecraft. For whatever reason, Minecraft is the most played game on the planet, but it's rarely in the top 10 on Twitch, whereas on YouTube, this is where I feel like Minecraft is most popular. And in reality, it's because they use these as a marketing, push. It's a way to make people watch Minecraft on Twitch or make people watch Minecraft on TikTok and then leave a comment. But I also feel like that's not what a celebration is. But personally, I would love if there was a YouTube cape, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was YouTube that doesn't support the system for it. Speaking of supporting the system, WeirdXGrim does not like the idea that we're celebrating Minecraft's 15-year anniversary by giving Bedrock 15 cosmetics and 2 capes. By the way, bad news. It's actually 3 capes for Bedrock. But yeah, this is a funny point. We're actually celebrating Minecraft Java Edition's anniversary right now, and it's weird because Bedrock doesn't really celebrate its own anniversary, instead celebrating that of the Java Edition. But I actually think this is kind of fine. Minecraft is meant to be Minecraft everywhere, and I think that although Minecraft calls it 2 games in lots of places, it is Minecraft the Big Salmon Edition and Minecraft the Medium-Sized Salmon Edition, and over time they will get closer. I don't think they'll ever quite close the gap, but that's a point for another Q&A. Speaking of another point for another Q&A, I made a sarcastic comment in my video about Minecon 2015. It was in London, which is about an hour away, and I said, oh, I had to go a whole hour away to get it, but this person here says, why does he think an hour is a long drive? And I would like to say, even though an hour away isn't far, an hour-long drive actually is, right? I'm so, as someone who used to have to drive 2 hours to go home, I don't have to do it anymore. But the important thing to say is that I think that driving does become much more taxing as time goes on, and I think that really spending hours of your day behind a wheel, it sounds fun at first. Like the first 20-30 minutes are kind of fun, but after that it's like I'd rather, be using my phone right now. I'd rather be, enjoying myself or taking a nap, and you just can't do those things from the driver's seat of a car. At least you probably shouldn't. Speaking of things you probably shouldn't do, I want to talk about Garrett 1317's comment. Honestly, that adventure update is kind of close to the actual 1.21 trial chambers, and this was on my video about Minecraft using AI to ChatGPT was making a Minecraft update, and I went back and looked and I was like, whoa, actually this is true. So in that video it references new items, a dungeon key which is used to open locked door in dungeons, and a treasure map which is used to find hidden treasure chests in dungeons. That's not that far off the trial chamber map and the trial key, right? And then even more, there's this, added a new dungeon finder feature to help people players find suitable dungeons to raid, and added a new monster hunter game mode in which players must work together to hunt down and slay giant monsters. Not that far off the trial spawners, although now it makes me think that there should be a trial spawner for a big boss. Right now the breeze is the biggest thing you could find. What if there was a really, really rare chance of not getting a breeze, but instead getting a Elder Guardian or a Ravager? I think having to kill some Ravagers randomly would be a big shock and would be a really cool experience for people fighting together. It's something I'm trying to rewire my brain for when thinking about the trial chambers. I play Minecraft so single player, I can't even imagine the idea of wanting to do these with friends that easily, so I'm trying to think like, okay, they're designing around that, and what would be fun if you're fighting with your friends if a random mob you're not expecting shows up out of nowhere? At least I think that'd be fun. Speaking of things I think would be fun, I did a fun little quiz last week where I said, how long have you been subscribed to the channel? If you put this as public, your subscription data is public, you can actually see how long you've been subscribed to a channel, and so here is someone who's been subscribed for 7 years. They left a very wholesome comment too, so thank you Jamie the Gem Jordan. I hope that you have a wonderful day too. But did you know there are people who have been subscribed for longer than 7 years? Here is someone, Suzuki Rat, who says they've checked and they've been subscribed for 8 years and 7 months, give or take a couple of days. This makes me think that people can check their own date of subscription, but even crazier than this, the longest that I saw on this video was Matthew Lee 3485, who has been publicly subscribed to me for 9 years. Obviously there are people who have been subscribed but non-publicly for longer than this, but the fact that someone has been subscribed for over 9 years now, from when I had 300,000 subscribers and the first video they watched was the rarest mobs in Minecraft, I think it is a really fun reminder about, one, some old school videos. It's a cool reminder to me. I really enjoyed a lot of those, but two, it's a fun thing to see how much my content and setup has changed. I agree with this entirely, and I hope that you keep enjoying the videos. Matthew Lee's 485. It's been almost a decade now. Isn't that incredible? Speaking of being almost a decade, you know what? A lot of people have questions about the release date of Minecraft 1.21. Creeper9112 wants to know when it's coming out, and Michael Dodden, Made6356, has the answer. The release date is the 7th of June. But here's the thing, right? I think the 7th of June is getting less likely as a release date, and we'll know for sure by next Wednesday. So this coming week, I think we're going to have a really good idea about the release date of 1.21, because if they release another beta/preview, which I think is maybe a 50-50 chance, then there is no way they are making that 7th of June release date. Because if they make a new preview that comes out on Wednesday, that's going to be the 22nd, that means that they're only going to have 2 weeks and a couple of days to go through all of the certification for all of the devices, and they have to guarantee none of them fail. They usually want to give it an extra week just in case something does fail, because I would say it takes about about a week to 2 weeks usually, and then if you want to be extra sure that the update comes out at all platforms on this at the same time, then that's something you really need to nail down. And so I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be delayed just a little bit. Speaking of things that are delayed just a little bit, regardless of when the update comes out, we know it is very likely to be June/the summer, and I am going to be doing in a couple of weeks a big update question run. This is kind of a throwback to what we used to do in older updates, because when an update came out, I used to release a bunch of videos on that first day, going through all of the major features and helping you understand how they worked. I think the most we ever did was something like 8 videos back in TU31, and basically it's kind of a throwback to that. I wanted to answer your biggest questions about the update, but at least a week or so before the update comes out. So 2 Q&As from now, instead of releasing one Q&A, like one of these 10-minute videos, instead there's going to be several smaller videos. They're going to be very tightly packed and very dense with information, so that hopefully you can learn about all of the big questions you have about an update. And yeah, we're getting closer and closer to those videos being finished, so I just wanted to share that I'm very excited, just like how Dania Arclean 1454, that is a hard name to pronounce, Dania Arcelean Dania Arcalan 1454 says, I can finally get the ultra flat map. Thanks, Toycat. And good news, the price has officially lowered. So yeah, if you have 490 Minecoins, let's say that you got 500 for free recently and you want to put them to a good place, ultra flat survival is temporarily on sale to celebrate Minecraft's 15-year anniversary. Go get it now if you want it at a discounted price. If you want to pay the full price, just wait a couple of weeks. Speaking of things you can wait a couple of weeks for, I hope that you haven't waited 2 weeks for this video, because there is a Q&A almost every single week, and I look forward to seeing you for the next one, which will be the last one before we go into big update questions, and one of the last ones before the update comes out. So I'm looking forward to hearing your biggest questions, and I'm also looking forward to answering them. I've got a very busy day planned out today. I've been away for a week, but I've got a lot of social engagements that have kind of piled up. So today is about, I'm seeing some family, and then I'm also seeing some childhood friends, and it's one of those things where I haven't quite defined when one of those ends and one of them starts, so hopefully there's a gap in between where I have time to actually breathe. But it's gonna be fun either way. I'm looking forward to it. I always enjoy catching up with people, except the people bit of it, but that's just me personally. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.